This is the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2. It is an updated 4-filament successor to the old Centauri Carbon. Is it better? Or is it more colors, more problems? Well, kinda. Some of the features did not work that well together. I think I'm the only reviewer who ran into this problem. I had some issues, and they're very important if you want to use this printer for shop stuff, more than just multicolored PLA, although I will get into that in a minute. But before I get there, let's talk about the printer. It's fast, it's fully enclosed, the print area is a cube with 256 millimeters on the side. It has a hardened steel nozzle, it gets really hot. That nozzle is really important, we'll talk about that in a bit. It's fast, it's surprisingly quiet, and the prints are generally awesome. All of that's shared with the original Centauri Carbon I have back there. So what's actually new? Well, the nozzle gets 30 Celsius hotter, gets up to 350 Celsius instead of 320, and it's got this 4-filament system, which they call canvas. There are tons of other little features, but those are the two that I actually care about, and those two features do not work that well together. But to explain why, let's talk about the 4-filament system and how it works. The 4-filament holders are on the side here. They feed up into this box here, which they call a canvas system. That feeds into 4 PTFE tubes that go around into a single shared nozzle. It loads and unloads automatically, which is pretty cool. And these holders here are even spring loaded, so when it unfeeds it, they actually retract. It's kind of fun to watch it work, but these filament holders are not universal. Some spools have holes in the middle that are a little bit too small, and larger diameter ones don't work either. I can get the 3-kilogram roll here to fit on the holder, but there's not enough space around it to allow another 1-kilogram roll underneath it. So that kind of eliminates the purpose of multiple filaments. There's a way around this though. Because the filaments just feed up into the canvas AMS thing, you can print out spool holders and just set them on the table next to it. Same goes for filament dryers. You can just set a filament dryer there and feed straight up into the system. You don't have those side holders, which retract automatically, but it still works. As a side note, I love how this system doesn't leave anything loaded into the nozzle at any time. You can just walk up, pull, and unload a filament without heating up the machine. That's super handy. I have another multi-nozzle machine over here with multiple extruders, and that is a beast to change out all the filaments when it's just sitting there. You got to heat every single one of them up and unload it. This UI on the front keeps track of what's loaded, and it's very easy to switch it up, especially if you use the Elegoo RFID filaments. Their RFID system is open source, so you can use anyone's RFID, and supposedly it should work. It also works for just non-RFID filaments. This printer is not locked down to only their filament, although it is easier to use theirs. If you use anyone else's, you got to do it manually. If you do have an RFID filament, you literally just beep it to the side of the canvas system and select which spool holder it's on, and that's it. It's very nice. Like other single nozzle multi-filament printers, when this thing needs a change, what it does, it cuts the filament in the head, it unloads, it loads the new filament in, and it purges out the back. There's a little bucket you can print that looks like a mini 3D printer. It's very cool. The old Centauri Carbon had one also, but I don't really know why they put it on there. I knew systems like this had a lot of purge waste, but I did not expect just how much purge waste. Turns out this is normal for this kind of system. That's another win for the multi-extruder setups. Let's talk about that for a minute actually. Printers work in layers, so do multicolored printers. What it does is it has a color, it prints what it needs to print in that color on that layer, then it switches, purges to a next color, prints that color on that layer, switches, purges, prints the next color on that same layer, and so on until that layer is done. Then it goes and does the next layer up. Same thing over and over. It does keep the filament loaded in the previous layer and uses that right away on the next layer so it doesn't have to do another switch. That's kind of nice. But that does mean, especially for multicolored prints, you are switching and purging an awful lot. Are you with me so far? This printer came with a 4-color benchy already loaded in. Here it is. You can pick which 4 colors it uses on the UI up front, and it prints it out. It's very cool. It doesn't take very long. It's a little over an hour, and it doesn't make a whole lot of purge waste. Not bad, right? Well, it only changes filament a handful of times. You can see it prints a bunch of layers in one, then changes, then prints a bunch of layers in the next, then changes, then prints a bunch of layers in the next. That's kind of the best case scenario. I decided to mix it up and change the colors by feature, not so much by layer. So it's printing many colors on each layer for many layers. I used all the same filaments and it's the same benchy. Here it is next to the purge tower, and here's all the purge waste. It just keeps going. It can almost float on a sea of its own purged filament. It also took many times longer to print, several hours. To be honest, this is almost a worst case scenario. It barely used the filament that it loaded before it had to purge and load again. And it did this for every single layer all the way up. Let's say you printed not one, but a whole plate full of these things, you would still only have the same amount of purge waste because it purges based on number of switches per layer, not per model. So the fact that I printed this one, just one, that's almost unfair. Speaking of this system, Elegoo told me that it's designed to work with multiple colors of the same kind of filament. For example, you're only printing multicolor PLA or maybe PETG. I didn't try that. I only tried PLA. But I decided I was going to break that rule, and that's when things went bad. This is a roll of PET-CF by Soraya. It would not print on the original Centauri carbon. It's much too stiff and brittle. In the original one, there was a sharp corner that it had to make going through a tube to get fed into the extruder, and it snapped every time. I ended up having to design a custom cover that would top feed down into the extruder to solve that problem, and it doubled as also a mount for a heater. I thought it worked pretty nice. It's still working to this day. It's very cool. So, can this machine print that filament with its hardened steel nozzle without any of the filament breaking in the tubes? And turns out, yes, you can. No issues. The print quality turns out great. It's kind of hard to see it on camera because my lighting's not really good, and this is matte black. But trust me, it looks great. It doesn't even have the benchy hull line. It's very impressive. And I didn't even mess with the settings. I just stuck it in there and away it went. These weird filaments full of carbon fiber and glass fiber, these are the kind of things that a hot, hardened steel nozzle are designed to print. And it does it very well. Maybe this one doesn't need to be 350 Celsius. That's more for like PPA CF, which I've also printed on the other one, and PPS carbon fiber. I don't have any of that on hand, but I've seen other reviews and they claim it prints just as well as this. So good job, Centauri Carbon 2. So what about the multi-filament system? Well, I decided to stick some orange PETG in there and print it with the PET-CF to try to get a two-color benchy. It did not work. Immediately, it started jamming. It just gave me a critical error. Please restart device. No. It printed fine until the switchover between the black PET and the orange PETG, and then it would not work. Maybe they were right. Don't mix different kinds of filament. I actually had to grab the filament over here and shove it in when it was loading it into the extruder. That's every layer on this thing. And eventually, the machine just rage quit, restarted, and wouldn't continue in the right spot. So that didn't go well. Here's a benchy and all the purge waste. Not a great result, especially since PET carbon fiber is not the cheapest filament out there. Keep in mind, I was told explicitly that this system was not designed to do that. So, okay, that's fair enough. But that was only the start of the issue. I decided that was a bad idea, and I switched back to just doing PLA only. And the problems continued. Here's a shot of a piece of gaming terrain. It's PLA, it's supposed to look like a blown up cathedral steeple thing. It kept jamming while it was printing this, and eventually it gave up again. Or maybe I gave up again, I don't know. Here it is next to the purge waste, which is to be expected, quite a large pile. And next to it is the same thing printed on a multi-nozzle printer. The purge tower is the only waste on that printer, and I didn't have to sit there and babysit it the whole time. Striking difference. Okay, so what happened? I have an idea, I don't have firm confirmation. This printer cuts the filament at the extruder before it unloads it. The PET-CF, which is very stiff and abrasive, I suspect it caused damage to the razor cutter. After that, when it would cut through soft PLA, it wouldn't so much slice as it would bludgeon its way through the filament, and it would leave quite a burr on the end. I think that gets stuck when it's going through the filament sensor. I think it's that because when I tried to load a filament off of this onto another printer, it was also difficult to load. I told all this to Elegoo. They sent me a new cutter and a new filament sensor. I installed those. And after that, I had zero issues, literally none. I tested it on this toy car print. This is designed to print in multiple pieces in multiple colors, but I just printed it all at once and even gave it a different like multicolored engine bay and interior and all of that. I think it went together pretty well too. I probably could have just printed them one at a time and then used the multicolor filament to get even more variety with a thing like this, but I didn't feel like doing that. I think it still looks very cool. I love old Datsun 240Zs. Cool. I should probably give this to my kids to play with, but it's mine. I want it. Oh, and here's the waste pile. It filled the purge bucket on the back and then some. I got about 1.5 buckets of purge out of this one. Fortunately, this filament was provided by Elegoo for the purpose of this review, so I'm gonna use all of it. I say there's a lot of waste. It's actually not that bad if you measure by weight. I don't have the numbers for you, but I could print several of these, like this and all the other stuff I printed, and I still have this much red left. And this much of this like cream. I gave it a beige leather interior, very classy. The old cutter has some wear, visible wear on it too. I can trigger it manually and see the burr forming on a piece of PLA. That's why I suspect that's to blame. I think it cuts and unloads the filament every time, multicolor or not. At the end, it cuts and unloads it a little bit. So if you were just to do prints with abrasive filament, which this machine is meant to do, and then later tried to do PLA, the cutter would have already gone through that abrasive filament several times. You might run into issues. Then again, maybe not. I'm not risking it right now. I'm keeping that PET, CF, and other carbon fiber filaments away from this thing for right now. And that's the real bummer here, because when it worked, it printed great, like fantastic print quality. But I can't help but think every filament cut could blunt the blade and handicap this thing from these cool multicolor PLA prints down the road. Is there a way to disable the cutter? Like, that would be nice. Even if the cutter's damaged, you can still print single filament things just fine because it's not unloading and loading it partway through the print all the time. And like I mentioned before, the print quality is excellent. The thing is, this can get to 350 Celsius, it's fully enclosed, and it comes with a hardened nozzle. That screams print abrasive high temperature stuff. Abrasive specifically because of the hardened nozzle. But if doing so damages the multicolored function long term, well, then we have a problem. One last thing to keep in mind. Elegoo sent this to me for the purposes of this review. I got it ahead of time. This is a pre-release model. I ran into these issues before any reviews hit YouTube, before you could even order it, and I told all of this to Elegoo. I don't know if they've implemented changes between me having this issue and you seeing this video, but most likely. They were at least aware of it. Personally, I will be sticking to non-abrasive filaments for now until something changes. I'll also be sticking with multiple colors of the same type of filament, not just because of the cutter thing. If you switch between multiple colors, you lose time and you lose some filament out the back, right? But you also lose time because it's heating and cooling the nozzle between each setup. That is what I ran into printing this one. Changing between normal PETG and the PET temperature added so much time to every switch, and the switching already adds a lot of time. Besides, with all the purging, PLA is honestly pretty cheap. PPS is not. Purge waste gets awfully expensive the pricier the filament is. So, is this printer good for you? Well, it depends. It can do lots of stuff, it prints really well, and the price is shockingly good. Kind of like the last Centauri Carbon. I'm surprised it's as cheap as it is. Honestly, like, looking at all the features, the things that I don't like about the canvas system, yeah, all the waste, all the time, that's true of all of these multi-filament AMS systems with the shared nozzle. And the printer I have over there with the multiple extruders that doesn't have a lot of those problems, it costs 10 times as much as this one. I'm not kidding. That's not an exaggeration. 10 times as much. And that buys a lot of PLA, you know what I mean? If they fix the cutter issue, or if my machine was just a fluke, which is possible, or the production ones don't have the same issues, then definitely consider buying this thing. If I hear back from them about the cutter thing, I'll leave an info in the pinned comment. If you're just doing multicolored PLA, awesome. If you're just doing engineering filaments, awesome. If you want to take a look at it, there's a pinned comment down below. Go check it out. Now go make something. See you next time.